This is Joe Gavazzi from Winning Sports Advice for the SBR video team, and today we're going to talk about the Super Bowl 50 between the Denver Broncos and the Carolina Panthers. Carolina currently favored by 6 points with a total of 44.5. Now, you don't need to tell you much about these teams. You've heard them ad infinitum from the media broadcast the last 2 weeks, but I'm going to try to share some point spread knowledge with you about the fundamentals of these teams. Carolina Panthers, an outstanding team, of course, winning 21 of their last 23 games. Did you know, however, that only 7 of those teams were winning teams? Carolina has done it with a profile that wins money in the NFL. That's all there is to it. They have a plus 28 net turnover margin. Anytime you have a plus 2 net turnover margin in the game, you win the money almost 80% of the time. If you have a plus 3 or more net turnover margin, well, you get the money over 90% of the time. We don't have to look any further than their last game against Arizona to see that happen, as they forced 7 turnovers. They also run the ball extraordinarily well, running the ball over 30 times a game, allowing their opponents to run 22 or less times a game, and outrunning them by about 40 yards per game. Here's how that translates into your point spread success. As any NFL team who outrushes their foe by 30 or more yards per game is a 75% winner in NFL action this millennium, while if you run the ball 30 times a game and your opponent does not, 85% point spread winners. And if you allow the opponent to run the ball 22 or less times a game while you do not, why that's 85% winners overall. You can see that why the net turnover margin and the strong running game are key reasons for Carolina's success and their appearance in the Super Bowl. It was played out to the hilt in their previous 2 playoff wins. Denver Broncos, on the other hand, do it with defense. The number 1 defense in the NFL this season, allowing an incredibly low 4.7 yards per play. They've been a very resilient team. 3 times this year they've come back to win games in which they trailed by 14 points, and 7 of 11 close victories were decided. 11 victories were decided by 7 or fewer points. Clearly, this team is playing it close to the vest, relying on their defense, and an offense, of course, led by the mental acuity of Peyton Manning, if he may not have his physical skills anymore. Now let's look at Super Bowls past. There have been 49 of them. Did you know that 42 of them, the team who won the game beat the point spread? That is, the point spread only came into play in 7 of those games. If we break this down even further, you'll find that in 26 games where the line was 6 or less, such as it is today, 25 of those games, the money went to the team who won the game outright. In other words, the point spread has only come into play once when the line was 6 or less points. Playing the money line might not be a bad idea regardless of who you like in this contest. Let's take one further look at the public's perception of this game, the eye test we'll call it. And of course, the public has put more money on the Carolina Panthers than on any team in Super Bowl history at this point in the betting, with estimates ranging 70 to 80% of the money going on the favorite Panthers in this game. How does that play out? Well, not very well based on the statistics in years gone by. First of all, whenever an NFL game has 70% or more of the money on it, that team usually loses more than 60% of the time, a real negative for the Panthers. And much of the reason why the public loves the Panthers is the fact that they've scored more than 40 points in their last game, an easy victory. Well, the last 14 times that's happened in an NFL playoff game, the team has gone on to lose the following playoff game. For Denver, they come in off a narrow point spread victory as an underdog versus New England. And although the public didn't like the way they did it, the truth is that Denver was a team who won a game straight up as an underdog, and now another playoff appearance again. Those teams have covered 8 consecutive times. In addition, as mentioned before, Denver will win this game with their defense. It is the number 1 defense in the league, and the team with the better defense has won the money in 40 of 49 Super Bowls past. A lot of statistics point negatively and in a contrary way to the Denver Broncos, and that will be my selection today. To find out how strong I make this rating, and if it is a 4% or more rating, 42 and 16 against the spread, well, that rating will be released by this Bureau on Sunday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. I invite you to join me with my pick on the Denver Broncos and hope you have a great Super Bowl Sunday. This has been Joe Gavazzi from Winning Sports Advice for the SBR video team. Good luck to you this Super Bowl Sunday.